long journey, we have finally arrived in Argentina, where the track is located in the breathtaking surroundings of Patagonia, nestled in greenery surrounded by the dramatic peaks of the Andes. It's the second time the FIM Motocross World Championship has ventured to this spot. The black volcanic soil creates the perfect environment for an explosive race. Here in Neuquén, we've gone from up in the mountains to in front of the stunning Nahuapi Lake to welcome you to round 4 of the MXGP of Patagonia, Argentina. We are here for the second time on this Neuquén track through the eyes of Max Nagel and David Puches. Let's see what it has to offer.
Max Nagel, MXGP Rockstars Corner Factory Racing Team.
David Puches, MX Steel Red Bull KTM Factory Racing.
It's a nice long start straight here into a very wide open sweeping left-hander, immediately into 2 giant rollers and a very fast turn 2 right-hander slightly back to the outside. We'll get very choppy through here. The choice of lines as well as we hit the first roller, then the second huge step up and then a small step up into turn 3. Carrying momentum all the way through this turn, over that crest, upsetting the balance of the suspension ever so slightly. Then here, double-double or single-double over the top. Then you have a choice to make through turn 4, which way to go through this long section of waves. Over the first of the Monster Energy step-up jumps, that's where Hurlings crashed last year, remember. Then through this next turn, over a double, into a 180 left. Bank to the outside, get on the gas nice and early. Nice and low on the left side as you hit the first jump, and then the Ippon step up. And then up into this right-hander in amongst the crowd. Dropping down on the exit. There was carnage there through last year's Grand Prix. Tony Cairoli falling, of course. Over the huge step up right in the middle of the circuit. And then we hit this left-hander, and again on the exit, a nice series of waves. Slightly higher on the left-hand side. Riders able to double into the last one. And then on this jump, that was more of a crest last year, but it's more of a jump now with a steeper takeoff. Exit the right into the rhythm section, and on the right-hand side you can triple into this bottom corner, landing about now. Otherwise it's on-off all the way through on the left-hand side. Through the bomb hole, left and right, over a small floater, and then the penultimate corner, 180 degrees right, a small single, and then over a double. The final turn is here, and then we have the Monster Energy finish line. Be careful not to land on the GoPro, and then it's a nice drag race back down alongside the start straight into turn 1.
After a very busy meet and greet with the fans, the riders are back on track. Let's see how the guys got on in the MX2 races.
MX2 burst into life here in Patagonia, but Benoit Paturel got tagged with Jeremy Seewer and the Khmer Yamaha rider fell 10 yards out from the start gate as Max Anstey grabbed a foxhole shot. Hurlings was second, but Horst Jonas crashed out spectacularly on the opening lap and would not rejoin the race. Meanwhile, Anstey led Hurlings for almost a whole lap before the Bullet charged through down the inside and put his Red Bull KTM in the driving seat. Anstey gave chase for a few laps as Jeremy Seewer went after Damon Growlers. They battled over sixth for a while, but on lap 3, Seewer was through on the Belgian. Hard charge around the outside and then up the inside. Eventually he got the job done and went after Samuele Bernardini, Thomas Covington and Alexander Tonkov, but not before the 321 of Bernardini on the TM made it difficult for the Swiss rider. Eventually Seewer would go through into 5th place. Pulled alongside Covington, got himself into 4th just after the halfway mark. But again, Covington making it very difficult for the Suzuki rider, and Covington riding with broken bone in his ankle, picked up just before Valkenswaard. So the American going through the pain barrier here at round 4 in South America, but that was the pass that got Seewer into 4th. He then went after Tonkov, but couldn't do anything about the Russian as Anstey held on to a good, solid 2nd place, but couldn't do anything about Hurlings, though, who was victorious in race 1. Anstey 2nd, Tonkov 3rd. There were some nervous looks on some of the faces of the riders as they lined up for race 2, but as soon as the gate dropped and the goggles were on, they charged into turn 1 without a care in the world, and once again it was Anstey who grabbed a foxhole shot, but he ran wide, allowing the Tonkov machine to come through on the 59 Yamaha. Hurlings was right there behind him in 2nd, and by the time they reached turn 6 and 7, Hurlings was through and leading once again. Anstey was in a frantic battle inside the top 5, giving chase to Tonkov. Made a move alongside the Russian, but couldn't quite make the pass stick here. Had to wait just a little bit longer as Jeremy Seewer and Horst Jonas gave chase as well. 5 riders battling for 2nd position. Bernardini bringing up the rear. Horst Jonas struck from out of nowhere, went from 4th to 2nd briefly before Tonkov found his way back through, and so too did Anstey. It was frantic action all the way through in MX2. Tonkov still held on for 2nd. Anstey was 3rd. Jonas 4th. Seewer right there as well in 5th. Then eventually, Anstey's luck ran out. Came over the finish line, landed. A mechanical problem had to cut across the face of Jonas, who was lucky not to collect the Brit. Meanwhile, Seewer was lucky not to go down as he caught the rear wheel of Jonas through one of the high-speed parts of the racetrack, and that left him in the clutches of the 321 Samuele Bernardini. So he'd gone from challenging for 3rd and was almost being pushed back to 6th. In fact, he was for a couple of corners. And he had to work hard to fend off the challenge from Bernardini. Eventually, though, he found himself getting clear of the TM rider. Got himself back onto the rear wheel of Tonkov on the Yamaha. Made that pass to get himself into third and then went back after Jonas. Jonas then made a mistake and it was an easy pass in the end for the Suzuki rider as he found his way into second just after the halfway point. Tonkov also then found his way past the fading number 41 of Paul's Jonas, got himself into third as Benoit Patureau also tried his luck, but he would have to settle for fifth. But in the end though, it was Jeffrey Hurlings who this weekend made history once more by claiming his 100th race win and with it his 51st career victory in MX2 and with it his first ever on South American soil here in Patagonia. Siwa second, Tonkov third, and what a great weekend it was for Bernardini and TM coming home in fourth. But Hurlings still undefeated in 2016. Siwa and Tonkov, they are second and third in the championship as Jonas drops to fourth. But Hurlings though still leads going into round 5 in Lyon.
Sono stato team manager del Supermoto.
I was team manager in Supermoto team for 10 years in the World Championship. And last year we started to be here in motocross. The gap was very big because there is a lot of difference between these two worlds. In motocross, it's harder and there is more jobs to do for the mechanics, but also for the riders. And last year was a real test for the team, especially for the mechanics. And this year we hope for better results.
Now I'm Kund and happy to be with them. They improve a lot, respect also last year. So I'm happy to stay also this year with them.
We really want to stay here in motocross, and we also have a junior plan because we want to bring young riders to a professional level. And if the plan works, we'll be very proud of our job.
Domani potranno essere quelle che ci danno le massime soddisfazioni.
Yeah, for sure. In Thailand, it's really close to Japan. And they come a lot of my supporters and sponsors, my parents also. It's not easy to get horse shot because from outside it's really far away. Yeah, it was surprising horse shot for me. It's really amazing moment. Really comfortable stay with Honda because they come from Japan. It's really easy to understand each other feeling, and also the bike is really nice. Really comfortable for the riding, easy to go fast, you know. I have feeling on the bike.
I make a good experience the past years. Maybe not the result that I wanted or that I expected, but I think I'm not too old, 25 years old, and with a good experience on my back, I hope to make a good result in the next year.
When I visit first time in the United States, Federation, they give me 400, and I was racing in a lot of time with the 400, so I have a lot of memory. That's why I take 400. No, I stay in Italy all this year. Yeah, it's pretty much different because I like Italian food. Also, the guy is really kind, you know. Japanese is kind of different, more quiet, more like that. So it's really different, but yeah, I like.
Two different kind of mind, but Kei is a good guy, and we had a good relationship also on the team. I mean, I'm happy that he's my teammate, and he's good guys, and we can also train together. The other riders that look at me, they look at me also like a rider, but also like a policeman. So that's also funny, and always was my dreams job when I was kids. Then I was for a motocross rider, but then now I can do both. So I'm really proud of that.
first race, Qatar and Thailand, was really difficult. Now I start to feel better and I work a lot with the team. Antti pushed me always. I think we can do the good race maybe this week or next week, but I'm really focused for this year here. We have the same goals and also it's like one family. I feel like this, and now I live in Belgium, so I'm more close to the team. I have a good relationship with Max. It's a good man and a good rider also. So I can see him in the training and learn a lot because he have a lot of experience with the bike, and I learn a lot with him, and it's a good teammate. I ride a lot in the sand, and I can progress also with the technical. So I put all my chance for this year. Yeah. Last year was a good experience. Now I feel better with the 450. It's more work with the bike and more work with physical also.
After this short break, it's business as usual with the MXGP race highlights.
Gate dropped for MXGP race 1. It was Max Nagel who thought he claimed the foxhole shot, but Kai Rowley stole it by the narrowest of margins and took the lead early in race 1. Fevre made a bad start, and then by turn 7 he was down again, and the championship leader had to work hard just to get back on terms with the lead bunch. By the end of the first lap though, Nagel found his way back past Kai Rowley. By the end of the start-finish straight, closed the door on the 222 and looked to move forward in the early stages of race 1. Behind them was Bobashev in third for HRC. Kai Rowley went after the Russian, couldn't do anything in the early stages, but then his moment came. Drove hard down the inside, got himself into second. Meanwhile, Dessau and Geiser were going at it. They were in 4th and 5th as Bobashev found his way back down the inside of Kai Rowley in what was a titanic battle for second. Then guess what? Up pops Tim Geiser. Took third away from Kai Rowley and went after the Russian Bobashev, and the Honda Garibaldi rider didn't think twice when the door was left wide open. He charged into second. Kai Rowley all of a sudden found himself in 4th as Van Horbik started his charge through the field as well to an eventual 5th place. Meanwhile, Fevre was on the charge and in the closing stages passed his teammate. He then went after Sean Simpson, got himself into 6th place. Dessau was a very credible 7th after his early season problems. Kai Rowley though, second half of the race, charged past Bobashev and then went after Geiser, got himself back into second. But no one was a match for Max Nagel. He led every single one of the 18 laps on offer, and it was a victory in race 1 for the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna. Kai Rowley was second, Geiser, Bobashev, Van Horbik, your top 5. over the gate for the second time of asking. There was no disputing this time who the Fox hole shot belonged to. It's Tim Geiser on the Garibaldi Honda. Behind him, Kai Rowley, well placed again. The Sicilian getting his start well and truly dialed here in Patagonia. Fevre was on the charge, got himself into fourth towards the end of the first lap, just behind the fast starting Sean Simpson. But once again, things would take a turn for Fevre. Simpson made a mistake, caught Fevre off guard, ran into the back of the Scot and then went down. So too did Tommy Searle. Searle would break his nose in a contact with the floor. Kenny Bobashev though, he was well and truly in the mix once more. He was in third, just ahead of Simpson. Nagel then found his way through, past Sean Simpson. Van Horbeek, de Sau, Koldenhoff all gave chase as well. Back on the case was the 461 of Fevre, also joining the party, just inside the top 10. Bobashev, though, would suffer late on in the second race as Fevre charged through. Bobashev got it completely wrong, went through the front door and was lucky not to get hit by everybody else as they came through. Simpson went past, got himself back into the mix, into sixth place. But the two Yamahas were at it, Van Horbeek and Fevre, as they battled over fourth place. Meanwhile, Tim Geiser, well clear, apart from one or two sketchy moments. It was pretty much plain sailing for the Honda Garibaldi rider. Kai Rowley kept him in check though for a few more laps before eventually settling for second position. But the battle for third place, Max Nagel could hold on no longer, and he was well and truly beat up by the two Yamahas. First Van Horbeek, and then a lap later by his own teammate Romain Fevre in exactly the same corner. Fevre all of a sudden in third place. Sean Simpson though in the closing stages had a little off-track excursion, decided to help himself to the sandwiches of the Marshall. In the penultimate corner he remounted but would finish in ninth. Tim Geiser though, riding like he did at the opening round in Qatar without a care in the world. 4 wins from 8 starts now for the Slovenian. Kai Rowley crossed the line in second. Fevre hung on for third. Van Horbeek fourth and Nagel fifth. And Kai Rowley was on the podium for the first time since France back in May 2015. But Fevre leads the championship now by just 3 points going into round 5. Kai Rowley, with a great performance here this weekend, now finds himself in third. But Fevre is just hanging on to that red plate as we leave Patagonia.
Everyone's leaving this beautiful place in Villa La Angostura for the second part of our South American leg. For the third time in a row, we're in Leon, Mexico, for the 5th round of the MXGP World Championship. Hasta luego, amigos.